I won't be long. I wanted to hurry up and stop through and share my thoughts on this monumental matter that we have. President Trump, the President of the United States of America, has called his crew to Washington, D.C. to pick up the pieces, I can say. But I want us to understand why this is important and maybe why this happened. I'm gonna let Muriel Bowser explain to you why it happened. Then I'm gonna let Trayon White speak on how he see it. So this is Muriel Bowser.
I've said before, and I'll repeat that I believe that the president's view of DC is shaped by his COVID era experience during his first term. And it is true that those were more challenging times related to some issues. It is also true that we experienced a crime spike post-COVID. But
I'm going to make her stop there. What she's talking about is during President Trump's first administration, when they unleashed COVID on us. They sided with BLM and picketed. They picketed the White House because they didn't want him in the White House, a duly elected president. So this kind of rubbed President Trump the wrong way. And now he's here sort of cleaning up house. But we're going to talk a little more. We're going to let Trayon White speak too, because we want to get the gist of this. We want to kind of get all the way into this. So let's let them talk. And we're going to draw a conclusion. And hopefully everybody get a little better understanding. And we speak a little more like we got some sense, a little more future oriented, and we get a better vision than the one I'm hearing about. DC been full of crime all this time. Why he want to change it now? We don't sound right saying that, and we're not going to be saying that. So let's listen to Trayon and see what happens.
Peace and love. This is Trayon White, council member, Washington, D.C. After listening to President Trump's press conference today, I want to offer a few thoughts. Public safety is a priority for everyone in Washington, D.C., and we have work to do. I'm not going to act like we don't, because we do. I think that what I heard today was vastly different than I read in the president's executive order. The president's executive order, it stated that he can call upon the mayor to provide assistance based on a 30-day emergency. What I saw today and heard today on the press conference, this is a takeover. And I think this clearly speaks to statehood. We not able to have full democracy and exercise our rights as other citizens in the United States. And I think we have done well economically.
All right, I got to touch on that real quick, because by no means are we going to play any games that has to do with our statehood. Man, we're going to find out the rules of that so that they can stop lying to us about that. The first rule is that the District of Columbia has never been created to be its own state. In Congress, you have an even number of Senate seats and House seats, even number. In the middle is the District of Columbia. And this is what the law is about it. It says, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17 of the United States Constitution gives Congress the power to establish a federal district as the permanent seat of government, which they have done. And they called it the District of Columbia. It's in Washington, D.C., and the White House is there to house all presidents, no matter their party. Next, the founders' aim was to keep the capital independent from any single state's influence. So no state could hold disproportionate power over the federal government. This has to do with the separation of power between the state and the federal. I'm going to keep going. By design, This neutrality meant the city could host either a Republican or a Democratic president. Though in the founders' time, those parties did not exist yet, the concept was about neutrality towards any political faction. So the founders created this to be impartial. If this one district leans to be a Republican, they shift in the balance of power. You can't. If you go to be a Democrat, you're shifting the power. You cannot. What we do is we don't have a governorship because we're not a state, but what we have is somebody we can send to the House of Representatives to be a representative of us and to sway people to vote either Republican or democratically, depend on the way in which we want the country to go. So in the District of Columbia is the first state that requires educated voters. And this is what we need to start focusing on. Because if we don't become educated voters, President Trump is going to put something in place that gets us out of here. I do not want to leave my state. But the state has to be smart. We can't have people boycotting a president like they did during COVID. When President Trump won his free, we can't have that. Whatever party vote, whatever person, the whole country vote in the office, we have to accept it. We are the nation's capital. We got to protect that. So you heard the Constitution. They always put us first and 40. It's first down and 40. That's how they started us off. Our first anything in the state was we had to change the Constitution. Do you know how hard it is to change the Constitution, man? This can't even be done during this time right now. Can't even happen. But this is what they want us to do. They want us to change the Constitution again, waste years and years of growth that we can have to change the Constitution to get a statehood that the Constitution said it wasn't even created for. So I'm gonna let them continue to talk, and we'll see.
District. We've grown from when I got here, we was at 14.5 billion. We've grown to a $22 billion budget. We have a AAA bond rating and economically sound for at least 2 decades. And so we have the ability to govern ourselves. I think that's not the issue. And I think that we can do better of communicating some of our wins that we've done over the years. But the reality is today is really concerning. One of the things that concerned me was about policing and how to police. I think there's been some friction in the Black community between community police relations. And I heard Trump say, if you spit, we hit, and we hit real hard. And we went on to say something about now we will allow you to do whatever the hell you need to do. And that's, MPD has standard operating procedures. They also have laws that have to be governed by and regulations. So I'm not sure how that's going to work. And we should always want to have a community where people in law enforcement get along. And that should be, given the right to just do whatever you want to any individual because you wear a badge. It has to be a check and balance.
We agree with that. But what we don't need general cuddling no more. We done been through it all. So if you need law, then you're gonna need it. Don't sit here and sugarcoat it. And first of all, I'm a big fan of Trayon White for multiple reasons. But he needs to understand he's the people champ for real. It's a title he definitely ran, but I think he don't understand that not only do we run him, we need him. We need him to speak for us, and then we need him to speak for those of us that's not as intelligent in the political field that he needs to be. So as the Democrat establishment always do, when they don't want somebody to prosper because that person is unable to be controlled, they somehow find a way to put them in jail or charge them. You got New York Mayor Eric Adams. You have Andrew Cuomo. It's a number of them. We are a place of redemption. We don't hold people to their lowest form. So we definitely put him back in office. We definitely put Trayon back in office. the Democratic establishment they didn't support her, and they're not going to support her. When it's time for our mayor, he may not run no more because he didn't beat Muriel Bowser. But Muriel Bowser was a placeholder. That was a place in history that got to do with inclusion and the trans stuff. The Democratic establishment do not have those winning issues anymore. We are going away from that. We voted against it. So, Trayon, you are unique in a lot of ways, man. I hope your ambition is past the council member. I hope you know that we need you in the House of Representatives, not with a vote, but with an influential voice on what the country should look like for educated voters, so that we can go this way or that way. You understand, Democratic is about welfare systems. And it's not only, it got some good to it, but then you got the Republic side. They more on, you got to work, not welfare, but tax credits. And we just got to learn how to use both of them. I think you can go a long way with this administration if you find out how to go with the flow of a party other than the one you support. Because as a District of Columbia council member, potential mayor, you got to be a smart voter. You got to be politically educated. You got to make sure your constituents, which is us, not undocumented, your constituents is us, the residents of the District of Columbia, win regardless. That's what you need to do. What you're doing is good. I applaud you. But I want to admire you, shorty. I like good leaders, man. And we don't have none. So I want you to know that I know, just as everybody know, that Carol Masters Burry, which is the widow of the late man Burry, did not support you. And that's a traditional Democrat, which means we don't get nothing from them. I don't want to talk about nobody badly, but the system has wrote itself out. We know who got us and who don't. And we don't need handouts. We need to be uplifted, man. Ain't nobody, no one can sit here and say, DC is doing good. My city is it look terrible, man. It's sad. Man, you can't go downtown and eat without smelling piss. You downtown, they got people on the monument steps. Listen, man, why y'all fighting this is unknown to me. But like I said, we're gonna talk it out. Who they want at the mayor seat is Mike Austin, Sheila Bunn, or Salim Adolfo. These are the people they're gonna push at the mayor seat, and it takes a little more to win the mayor seat over a councilman seat. But you got us. You educate yourself, you educate us, and we become a think tank, something bigger than them. They can't reach us, man. So hopefully you get off the partisan lines. You understand that being in DC, you have to be almost like a swing state. Depends on what your constituent needs, whether you go this way, Democratic, or you go this way, Republican. I think I'm elaborating too much. I meant to let you speak, so my fault.
Heard the president say we get rid of the criminals and the slums in which they live in. And I don't know DC has slums. Now, we have some areas that's economically challenged, but even in those areas, we have people who are great people, working class people that work every day that want to see their community be safe and be beautiful. And so we have to honor those people as well. And what I do know is those poverty-stricken areas in DC are not white areas. It's predominantly African-American communities of color. And so I don't want this to be an attack on Black and brown people in DC. And that's the kind of feel I got from it. And I think that we have to have a holistic approach to addressing crime, because I know it works.
My bad. No, daggone well, we're not going to play this race card. Those are the things we have to get away from. You don't need to play. You don't need to put on our emotions. You got to let it be known. No matter what, we used to be a chocolate city. With this gentrification, they done push people out. The Democrats did it, and we don't have nothing to say. The Democrats is with undocumented people getting tax dollars that's supposed to be going to our seniors. Nobody complains. When the Democrat do something, we take it. And this goes with, everybody, even my loved ones. I got somebody in my life that don't believe that if you give blacks anything that they're going to succeed, but they pro-black. We have a hatred in us, man, and it's time to put it down, man. It's time to put it down. And I know it. We'll leave each other for dead. We'll leave each other for dead and this, man, that's fucked up. Well, that's messed up. So, Trayon, we need you to be more. The mainstream media is gone, man. Anything you do now will be magnified. You will have people making content about it. Your best attribute is just being real with the system, with the system, with us, allowing us to accept you for your growth, and you growing into something that we can admire and put up in the House of Representatives as our representative. That's the only thing you could do for me. You saying this don't exist and that don't exist and we should go for statehood, it sounds like you using political double talk to people into politics, man. Or it seems like you talking to, or think you talking to people who don't know. I'm not here to bad talk you or anything, but if you sit down and talk, you know, getting statehood is the closest thing to impossible as you can get. Because no party gonna give the advantage to the other party. Why fight that? Why not just sit back, become the genius that you can be, learn how to teach your constituents to be smart voters and allowing us to be in the system that we have. The president of the United States, no matter who they are, live in our city. Why we can't have that as a blessing? Per capita, we give them more aid than anybody in the state. And I've been in the state at a lot of places. We get more aid than anybody. You know it. The person that we don't even like is offering $22 billion from $14 billion, like you said. Stop, man, doing something different, man. You don't owe alliance to the Democrat Party. You don't owe alliance to the Republican Party. You owe alliance to us and teaching us how to be a little more engaged and getting us off out of the squalor that we are in. We are struggling. You know we struggle. We barely can afford anything. Every dollar we make is taxed to the point that we only get 25%. So after every dollar, we get 25 cents because of all the income tax, sale tax, use tax, all these taxes that y'all have on us. Finally, he got the tax on tax credit. Tax credits means that they're going to still tax you. This is the overtime tax. I don't think people understand. It deals with you being overcharged in a sense and you getting a refund at the end. And this is how they're trying to give money back. It's trying to teach us how to get money out of the system other than welfare. It's effective if you look at it, but it's a trick in the sense of if you don't use it, they're not going to give it to you. So you got to go get your own refunds. This is what you need to do, Trayon. Teach us how to be bipartisan, how to win regardless who in the office. Right now he's in office. What are y'all about to say? Fight him for the rest of the whole time he in there? And then once we get somebody else in there, don't do nothing? Excuse me. I'm tired of that, man. We need better leaders, man. I think you are one. I hope you are one. I love my city. We're not going to be able to stay here if we remain ignorant voters because of how the Constitution is. I hope I'm not even putting that on Murray Bowden. She did her thing. She was sent to a certain type of people. Just like Barack Obama. He let it be known in his recent statements, he was sent to a certain type of people. You can be the first black president in my eyes, man. Your aspiration, your political aspiration has to be a little more complex. The Democrat Party already crossed. You should know you can't rely on now one of them. Both of those parties belong to the federal side of this. States are supposed to be people. So us aligning with these states have really messed the whole theory of this thing up. But in America, in the District of Columbia, because we don't have our statehood, we don't have to go through a lot to right the ship. Places like Chicago, Minnesota, the George Floyd stuff took over those places. They fighting to get it back now. They was the city of love during those years. They burnt down the police. It's like, people, not here. Everywhere in the world, you know us. In the feds, we different. We like these titles, but it comes with a responsibility. Just like yours, you have to step up and lead us, man. If you got to start meetings where you have think tanks, then do it. But we gotta move forward, and we can't keep being the opposition. You can't keep putting us first down and 40, man, and we don't make no yardage, man. You want us to fight the Constitution again and make a statehood that's gonna make the Congress of America impartial? They never gonna do that, sir.
I know what worked for me, and that means that love worked for me. Somebody cared for me, somebody lift me up, somebody encouraged me, mentorship, great parenting, great schools, a quality healthcare system, wraparound services, mental health services, substance abuse service. These are the things, home ownership, business ownership. These are the things that work, that help people not with a handout, but with a hand up in our community. And that's what we need, not just policing. We know for a fact that arresting people is not the end all solution to addressing crime. It has to be a holistic approach to addressing these crimes. And I heard something, even seeing the.
What is a holistic approach? What is a holistic approach, Trey? Come on, man. Listen. Okay.
Legislation that came through about arresting 14, 15, 16-year-olds and charging them as adults. We already have Title 16 here, but to put.
If the kids under 14 are the ones we can't control, and even in the moment, you're making up reasons why we can't even control them, what do you expect really to happen? Are you telling us to give up on our kids? We tired of giving up on them. Because we're going to sacrifice ourselves. We're going to. And we keep doing it. And everybody say, man, forget them youngest. It's hard to say that, man, when you come from that. Are you sitting here saying you don't want to charge them as that? What you should be saying is you already see what President Trump going on. You crying about it at this moment is crazy. He's going to do it. You can't stop him. The mayor can't stop him. He's going to do it. What we need to be saying, at what point can we step in as mitigating factors and tell him, okay, we want to put together something that allow these young men to not just work their time down, to actually doing it through education, man. Like give them educational structures on etiquette, reading comprehension, political science, which is the structure of government. Why this stuff is even here? Like, make them come home different. Make them come home different, man. I mean, if you want to be useful, these are the ideas or brainstorms we need to talk about. You just saying, oh, it's going to be hard for us because they're young. They're getting younger and younger. I said this years ago, and now we live in the urban. Oh no, let's not do it. What else you gonna do? You ever fight the president, which you're gonna lose, then we still gonna lose them, or you want to become proactive, man? I heard people saying crazy stuff, man. DC been messed up. Why you want us to fix it now? Listen, you a leader, man. All these other people, you a leader, man. You got a responsibility. If your little political aspiration only go to your council of Ward 8, I mean, cool. We may find, we'll have to find somebody else. But if you think you can open your eyes, man, and get a better or bigger political footprint, you got to change the way in which you move. And you're not held now under the funding hostage of the Democratic establishment, nor the Republican. You don't need it. You stay where you at. You got us. You build us up, and you find ways to incentivize your constituents for the programming that they're doing. You know, welfare ain't it. He's giving up tax credit. You got to show the people how to use tax credits. That's the way in which they're giving us money back. Welfare is one way, that's the Democrat. Tax credit, tax rebates, tax refunds, they're showing us how to get some of the overtaxed dollars that we're getting taxed on. He is trying to give it back to us in refunds. You have to know the system, man. We need you to be a leader, man.
And I do believe that young people have to be held accountable, right? Because you have to learn, you have to grow. But to put a 14 or 15-year-old in a federal penitentiary, because that's what it is, DC is not a state, so we go to the feds, with a 55-year-old, 65-year-old, 25-year-old, it's not healthy for the young person. So we have to rethink what's the best method. And that is reaching them early on, getting them outlets and solutions and wrapping around services. And those need to be held accountable, absolutely, but not with grown men and adults in the federal penitentiary, away from their families, away from their homes. And so
I agree. Come up with something. Come up with something, man. They got to go to jail. You know they are. We can't have no, you trying to reach them younger, reach them. Their minds are already like Play-Doh. They're absorbing everything. When they start to smell themselves, nothing makes sense. Adults don't make sense, man. So we can't reach them early because they're going to have even less understanding of life. Look at it in the reality. We are what we are. You just got to now think of ways to get them out of the system, which we are going to have to do because they're going to the system. You have Oak Hill with all this land. Build something for them if you don't want them in the phase, man. Build something for them, but don't build no camp. Build something that allow us to go in there and actually have a say. Don't do like you're doing over there at YSC, man. That is a trap that you build the perfect platform, man. You had people coming home from jail who was thinking on other levels. We still are. We business owners, we content creators, we everything you can want. But when we go over to the jail or over to YSC, I and everybody else know who've been over there. I don't know why they don't speak out, but I don't have no problem speaking out. The rules in which you allowing to go on over there has to be stopped. You have to find a way to effectively raise these youngers without saying I can't raise them. Because this is what you're saying a while. So you're saying we're gonna raise you, but I can't raise you. So I just let you go off until you're 16, then I send you over to the jail. And this is what y'all are doing over there. You don't want to say it, but your failures don't have to be you failed. Your failures can be your lessons. And then we start to right the ship, but we can't keep doing the same stuff. And for the most part, I'm gonna go to the next one because what I want to touch on now is my brother did a podcast, and this is a guy who he one of the guys that I allowed to kind of have an influence on me. I kind of don't have no problem with some of the things he say because even when he's wrong, he's grounded in something. So I kind of go with him. I don't go with him because his grounded nature is kind of religious, sectorism, foundational driven. So I don't get always the end result. So I listen to him though. So I don't agree with him with this one, but I'm gonna let it play and I'm gonna comment on certain portions of it.
The Man Code is your place to be. But we have a serious one right here. And this one is the Fed takeover. Are we responsible? President Trump has decided to do a Fed takeover in Washington, D.C. There's a lot of concerns. I'm listening to a lot of us, comment. I'm listening to a lot of us with these real short memories. I'm watching our timelines and I'm just, before I say anything, Because what I don't want to do, I don't want to offend. What's up, Black? I don't want to offend us. So before I say anything, let me say this to us. Number one, I'm a lover of our people. I'm a huge fan of my people. I'm a huge fan of Black folks. But I'm going to say some things today that's going to be challenging. And when I say it, I'm not saying it because I'm trying to offend you. I want you to think, though. I really want you to think, and I want you to, at the end of it.
Okay, my bad, I had to go with something to drink. This is one of the issues I have with them. As thorough, conditioned, historically proven of a people that we are, everybody has to be so sensitive with us. I don't want to hurt your feelings. I don't. Say what you guys say. Hurt my feelings, man. Get the point to me. Stop being so LGBTQ-ish on us, man. When that shit came about, we couldn't parent our kids no more. Masculinity became toxic. Everything is, you hurt my feelings. No, like, we got to learn to hear people without getting our feelings hurt. We got to learn to be able to hear them and be like, I get that. I like your point. Make me understand it. Or my view is this. Like, why do our views differ so much when we come from everything the same? So stop being so sensitive, man.
Find out what role you played in this and how can we all collectively come out of it. So this takeover is built around the issues that's in the city that we all forgot about real fast, conveniently, because Trump talking about it. But we got a guy that's on Instagram that got popular. I can't even think of his daggone name. But the youngers know what I'm talking about. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. But he have an Instagram page where he tell us what areas of the city to stay away from. He name places and he make jokes about it, but he tell you what kind of people are going to be there. And these are the gas stations you want to stay away from. These are the neighborhoods you want to stay away from. These are the kind of people that's in these neighborhoods. Somebody tell me the name of that. I cannot remember that brother's name. Dang, he's real popular on Instagram. But he always tell us where we should stay away from. He know all the grocery stores, all the 7-Elevens. I'm talking about he get the name of Eastover.
That ain't the key.
He named Minnesota Avenue.
Okay.
He named W Street. He named all the places, but he turned it into a joke. But he tell you what kind of crimes is committed around there, how you gonna get robbed. They selling singles around there. The homeless people migrating from different neighborhoods. They ran out there on neighborhood. So when he said, we laugh.
All right, let me say one thing. I just want to put the experience I had. I was coming from somewhere, and I was walking. And there was a lady in front of me. We were on the sidewalk, and I'm kind of paying attention, but you don't concentrate on walking. So I'm paying attention enough to where, though, if something happened, I may see it. But anyway, I'm walking. She in front of me, so she stopped. I noticed it, but I'm not close enough to really pay attention. So when I finally get like probably a distance to her, I look and she got her pants halfway down on the sidewalk, ass turned to the side, pissing. Listen, man, y'all know me. I want my city, man. I do, man. I don't want to get put out this city, man. And this conduct has to stop. We commit crimes. We're not criminals. Like the stuff we did, it was a design. We fell for the trick back then, but it didn't make us criminals, man. We can come around if we want, man. We could just expect more. Ignorance can't be our go-to move. Our opinion can't be an opposition to a fact. We'll argue a fact and say, I don't have to say it the way you see it, just because you see it that way. We will argue a fact against an opinion, man. The reason we ain't doing better because we don't expect it. I mean, that's in a nutshell. I'm gonna say what you don't want to say. We don't even incentivize greatness. Who is the first black brain surgeon? We don't celebrate him. Most of us don't even know he exists. And when I spoke to one of my sons, and he said the right name. He said, but he dead. He said, man, Ben Carson. Ben Carson, Bill Carson, one of Ben Carson, I think. He's a center of that thing now. They thought he was dead. He's the first black brain surgeon. Everybody who I have found in history that I kind of say, wow, this is a great, smart person. The Democratic establishment told me they were enemies. All of them, Clarence Thomas, all of them judges, Supreme Court judges. I mean, everybody who didn't bend the knee to them, they demonized them, and we didn't accept them. And we lost so many great people because we won't back them. We need to stop that, man. You need to push the Democratic establishment to the side, open your eyes, get your foundation back, and we pick our own leaders, man. Make them have the agendas that make us great. Not accept us getting high, not accept us being violent, not accept this. If we give up criminality, then we need our leaders to find out ways for us to get money. That and hold them to them standards, because your leader is a reflection of you. Hold them to them leadership roles.
However, we take heed to what he's saying, and we don't go in those neighborhoods. Some of us ride past these same neighborhoods that he talk about, and we shake our head. But now here come Trump. He's speaking on the city. And because we have this trigger with us, whenever he speak, even if it's the truth, we automatically get offended. Man, you hear what he doing? You heard this, you heard that, you heard this. When the whole time, you already knew that all this was an issue. You knew that our city in certain areas, you just don't want to be in. So let me talk about some of the things that he highlighted, because I listened to the speech. I listened to Muriel Bowser. I listened to several people because I wanted to be informed before I came on here and talk with us, because I got my own thoughts also. But I wanted to hear as much as I possibly can so I could try to be as helpful as possible when it comes to addressing this. So he talked about the issues in the city, one being crime, the other one being drugs, the other one being the guns on the street, the robberies, the carjacking, the ran down communities. And to me, in truth, we should all be concerned about that. We shouldn't even have to wait for a president to start wanting to pull a whip out before we start taking these things serious, because some of these neighborhoods and some of these communities, some of you all live in, some of these communities, these your nephews, these your sons, these your cousins, these are people that you know, and you watch them be destructive in the community and you don't challenge them. You say absolutely nothing. You don't do nothing at all. But now it's being brought up by the president. We all bent out of shape. We all panicking. But truth be told, I just got to be honest with you. I'm not going to the gas station on Minnesota Avenue. And that gas station is very cheap. It's extremely cheap. But when I ride past Minnesota Avenue, man, that shit is horrible, man. Excuse my expression. I don't want to use profanity, but that area is horrible. When I ride past MLK up there by that Popeyes, all in pops. When I ride past Heck and Jamal, they call that joint K2 Pop. I mean, there's so many areas in Washington, D.C. that you drive past and you see these communities, and we know we will never get out our cars in these communities. Peace, bro, B. E, what's good, E? You already had that conversation. You already let them know. I got a 14 and a 16-year-old.
All right, so I think my link went out on that one, so I can't go back. So I'm this is something I want to show here too. So
most of them kids is less than 15 years old, like 10, 12 years old. How they do it? Like that's crazy.
Sajid to me
Is less than 15 years old, like 10, 12 years old. How they do it? Like that's crazy.
Sajib and Tamika own the 24/7 Best Tobacco and Wireless at Heckinger Mall Shopping Center. The store sells a lot of food, too. Friday night, they say 20 to 30 juveniles came and did this.
And if a lot of kids are hungry, I have no problem with feeding nobody. You know what I'm saying? Kids, I would give it to them.
But they don't even think the juveniles ate much of what they took. Instead, they just trashed the place, as this video obtained by our news partner WTOP shows. We asked the couple what they think of President Trump's plan to federalize city police and deploy more officers and the National Guard.
I'm telling Trump, yeah, just send the boys to been around because this is crazy. And then you see Dollar Tree closing, or CVS closed down, 7-Eleven closed down. We trying to put a store in your community, then you do this.
This is the CVS she mentioned that closed. At the next closest one on H Street, you can't even so much as buy a $2 bottle of soap without asking an employee to unlock the display case.
The city keeps saying crime is down, but do you feel safe?
No, I don't think so. Crime is down. Crime is up.
Where? In D.C.? Who told that lie?
Customers we spoke with agreed crime does not feel down, but they differed over whether Trump's plan is the right one.
You discipline your kids, right? So, you know what I'm saying? The city need discipline, man. He doing the discipline. That's what I feel like.
Crime has been going on all this time. Why now, all of a sudden, this is the bright idea for it? And you think it's going to work? No.
okay, so So I'm just going to let this play out, man, and hopefully get some understanding.
Wow. I've been up here a lot. I've never seen a crowd like this. I think we need a ballroom, and that's happening. It's going to be a beautiful ballroom. This is really a lot of people, most I've ever seen in this room. And we're here for a very serious purpose, very serious purpose. Something's out of control, but we're going to put it in control very quickly like we did on the southern border. I'm announcing a historic action to rescue our nation's capital from crime, bloodshed, bedlam, and squalor, and worse. This is Liberation Day in D.C., and we're going to take our capital back. We're taking it back under the authorities vested in me as the President of the United States. I'm officially invoking Section 740 of the District of Columbia Home Rule Act. You know what that is? And placing the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department under direct federal control, and you'll be meeting the people that will be directly involved with that. Very good people, but they're tough, and they know what's happening, and they've done it before. In addition, I'm deploying the National Guard to help reestablish law, order, and public safety in Washington, D.C., and they're going to be allowed to do their job properly. And you people are victims of it, too. You know, you're reporters, and I understand a lot of you tend to be on the liberal side, but you don't want to get mugged and raped and shot and killed. And you all know people and friends of yours that happened. And so you can be anything you want, but you want to have safety in the streets. You want to be able to leave your apartment or your house where you live and feel safe and go into a store to buy a newspaper or buy something. And you don't have that now. The murder rate in Washington today is higher than that of Bogota, Colombia, Mexico City, some of the places that you hear about as being the worst places on earth, much higher. This is much higher. The number of car thefts has doubled over the past 5 years, and the number of carjackings has more than tripled. Murders in 2023 reached the highest rate probably ever. They say 25.
Okay. I won't keep playing it. You get the drift. As long as he got those facts, he gonna do what he want. So I guess if we be truthful with ourselves, we're gonna have to come up with some type of counter argument or fight against this other than playing victim. So let's come up with some suggestions other than crime. My thoughts right now.